Being able to quickly change the color of any object is a total game changer. Today I'm going to show you 3 essential techniques to do exactly that. Whether you're working with a vibrant hue, a pure white shirt, or a deep black one, the standard tools don't always work the same. Watch till the end because by the end of this video you'll be able to handle any color shift imaginable. 3 methods, 1 goal, total color control. Let's dive right in. Before we dive right into the first method, it's important to note that all the techniques we're using today are non-destructive. This is huge because it means we are not damaging our original pixels. You can always go back, change your mind, or fine-tune your colors later without starting all over again. To get started, let's duplicate our background layer. You can drag it down to the plus icon or just hit Command or Control J. Now, some people prefer working directly on a mask, but I find it much cleaner to separate the subject onto its own layer and use clipping mask. Let's rename this layer to Subject. Next, grab the Object Selection tool. Up in the taskbar, I'm going to set my mode to Lasso. In newer versions of Photoshop, sometimes just hovering your mouse over the object gives you a great preview. Let's click to make a selection. I think it did a pretty decent job in making our selection, with an exception of the hand over here. But we can quickly fix that. You can either hold Option or Alt key on your keyboard and draw around the area to deselect that. Likewise over here, you can also hold Option or Alt key and then click. Or if you think the quick selection tool isn't helping you, you can always use the lasso and then hold the Option or Alt and do the same. I'm not going to spend time perfecting this selection right now, but if you want to master the part of the process, I have a dedicated video on making selections where I show you how to handle complex things like hair. Definitely check that out. So now once you have your selection, create a mask. Go down to your adjustment layer and select Hue and Saturation. And to make sure that it affects only our shirt, we're gonna clip it to the subject layer. Now, for the fun part, just move the hue slider to find the exact color you want. You can use the saturation slider to make it pop or tone it down. But a quick tip, I don't recommend using the lightness slider here. It tends to wash out the texture and doesn't give a very realistic result. So let's double click on the sliders and reset it. And that's it. The first technique is done. And as you can see, it was incredibly fast. The new color looks realistic and you can always go back and play around. So this is before and this is after. Now for our second exercise, we're dealing with a white shirt. To keep things moving, I've already created the selection here since it's exactly the same process we used in the previous part. Before I show you the right way to do this, let's try the hue and saturation method again, just to see what happens. You'll notice the white changes, but it's very subtle, more like a light pastel tint. If you're looking for a high intensity or a vibrant, true color, this technique just isn't going to get you there. So let's delete the hue and saturation layer and try the approach. Go down to your adjustment layers and select solid color. Pick any vibrant color you like from the picker. And then hit OK to apply. Hold the Alt or Option key and click in between the two layers to create a clipping mask, or you can right click and go to Create Clipping Mask. Right now, it looks like a flat block of color covering the shirt, but here's the magic. Go to the blend mode and change it to multiply. You can double click on the thumbnail and change the color as you like. Just look at the difference. It retained the shadow from the original white shirt. Now here's the before and after. So that was the end of our second exercise. We've now learned how to color a pure white fabric, and if you have watched it till here, please consider liking this video. For our third and final segment, I again have the subject layer and selection ready to go. Let's start by trying the Hue and Saturation filter one more time. As you can see, it has almost no impact. If we try to force it by cracking up the lightness, we lose all the fabric detail. And boosting the saturation just gives us those weird blocky pixels. So let's delete that and use a much powerful technique. Go to your adjustment layer and select levels and make sure to clip it to the subject. In the properties panel, drag the right highlight arrow toward the left to bring up the brightness, and then adjust the midtone arrow to balance it out. To really push it into the white or gray range, go to the output levels at the bottom and drag the left slider towards the right. Look at the result. There is the before and there is after. If you want to add a specific color from here, you can simply follow the second technique we just learned. Create a solid color layer, change the blending mode to multiply, and double click the thumbnail to pick any color you like. I know the selection isn't 100% perfect on this one, but our objective today was to master these 3 different workflows. You can always go back to your levels and adjust according to your liking. Okay, this is where we started and this is where we are. So there you have it, 3 professional ways to tackle any color change in Photoshop. We used Hue and Saturation for simple swaps, solid color and multiply to bring life to white objects, and the levels to transform even the deepest black. Put these techniques to the test on your next project, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.